don't know where to put my spoons anymore. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I think my table is due for a makeover and this is gonna take a lot of time. So let's get into it and jump into a live shot of me showing you what my table looks like.
Hi, so this is my mess of a table. I think you guys can understand why I need to clean it. If you look at all of these, it's just everywhere, even the work surface. There's just a lot of wires, and that's my cup, and a bunch of other things. So let me give you a little messy chair from the chair tour. So this is just skincare stuff. I got this from, because actually it used to be a lot less messy, but then I've gotten more things. So this is from like a back to school package we got from the local government. I have a bunch of these. I bought more page flags. This is the mic that I usually use for recording VOs, but it's kind of, it just makes everything look a little bit messier than it is. So if you look at this, it looks nothing like when I first cleaned it. This is my sticky note containers, then just a bunch of other things back here. So if you look down here, so we have this bowl of just yarn of fabric scraps. I forgot the word for felt. And then see, look how much of a mess it is down there. Technically, everything down here, like in terms of the washi tapes, are actually pretty clean. I keep the washi tape drawers pretty organized. But above the washi tape, it's kind of a mess. So this is some thread that I used to sew crochet stuff before. Some crochet like stitch markers, some pins, the little crochet succulent I made, a drink, just a bunch of different things, and it's kind of a mess. So these are like 2 blue light blocking glasses. Over here we have the pen section. It's not really the best. It wasn't ever really that organized in the first place, but I am planning to replace this one and this one just because they're both like paper and they're both dying. And then if we move over here, more of a mess. The reason why this is a mess is because like it's just a lot of different things, and then this one I have to keep putting back things here. And then over here is the bullet journal, so I just like having it there just, you know, for easiness. And then look at all the spaghetti wire, just because there's 2 of them and they're the same color and they have 3 different chargers. So I think you guys can understand why I really need to clean this. And then if we head up here, you can see, so this is like the little tray area. Look how many books and notebooks that I have. I really need to find a way to better organize these. And then, tada! This is like the skincare / accessories / paint and glue section. Yeah, there's not really a lot of like sorting when it comes to this. So let's get to the planning phase where I'm gonna explain what I'm planning to do with all of these things.
So yeah, my table is a mess, so it does need cleaning, but why now? And why wait a year after my last deep clean? I used a cardboard box from the table to make my own table organizer. After 2 years, it's starting to die and I need something to replace it. Since I do need something changed, I thought why not wait until I have the budget to fix the table again. So I saved up for like a year to be able to have the budget to buy a lot of things. So don't feel like you have to drop massive amounts of money right now to do a makeover. This project has been a year in the making. I was in a temporary workspace when I started planning, so the lighting might not be great, but I took photos of my desk and wrote down what things I wanted to keep and what I wanted to throw away. I also measured my desk space to make sure that I can account for the space that I have. I also thought of areas of my desk that I wanted to cater to specific needs, like my notebooks on my shelf, my stationery, technology things, and even my skincare section. As you use this setup, you can start to identify some quality of life changes you'd want to make, and that's how I figured out what I wanted to do. I sort of ventured into a green, gray, and white color scheme last time by accident, but now since I'm redoing almost everything, I'm putting more thought into my setup. To account for the things I'm keeping, what's available to buy, and my personal style, I have a color scheme of white, gray, purple, and gold. Since I had a lot of time between getting the items I ordered and actually clearing the table, I was able to draw a basic table plan on my bullet journal. Since it was very preliminary, I'll show you a digital version on screen. I have the overhead shots of the main table and the shelves. I'll just give you an overview on what each area is for, but not much detail to not spoil what it actually looks like. We're starting on the top shelf. We're going to have a long-term storage on the left with stuff that I don't use but still need to keep, then a skincare section where I'd be able to most grab it but not as often as my notebooks, then an accessories and small items section to have a place for small things that can get lost, then a bookshelf for my notebooks, books, and out-of-the-house tray. For the main table, I have my staple gray shelf and charger on the side that's going to hold my papers and my bullet journal. A big area for storage since I do have a lot of stationery and I want to keep it on hand. My pen cups are in front of it so I could reach them easily when taking notes. Then my washi tape storage is beside the main shelf since it's not as used as my other stationery, but I still need it on my main desk, especially for plan weeklies. That's the same reason for having my washi tape stack where it was. Then I just have extra storage on the side hidden away just in case I have some things that I want to store on my desk but not throw off the arrangement. And that's the general plan of how I'm fixing my table. So before I start cleaning, I did some pre-cleaning, which is just fixing small things before I want to put them away. I backed up my class files and cleared out some storage for the new sem, but that's kind of boring to watch. So the first pre-cleaning thing I did was relabel my markers, which you can see here. I have my markers sorted into colors and shades to make it easier to get the color I want. Each pen has a code written by the bottom in permanent marker, but it's starting to scratch off, so my solution is washi tape. The code is a letter to signify the color of the marker and a number for the shade. So in the new system, the color is going to be a washi tape of that color wrapped around the lid of the marker. Then I have a rainbow of washi tape which serves as the shade that I wrap around the bottom. So for example, B1 or the lightest shade of blue would have blue tape around the cap and red tape around the bottom. I also took my swatching notebook and added a backup swatch card of the markers. The second pre-cleaning thing that I did was swatch my paints. I bought new paints over Christmas break that I want to have a record of, so it would be easier to compare it to my other colors when I'm planning on a spread. Since the paper is cream colored and my bullet journal has white paper, I take a scrap of white paper to swatch the paints on. It also helps prevent the notebook from morphing with the water in the paints. The packages are here and I'm super excited. I ordered a bunch of organizers on Shopee for my table. I didn't get to film a full haul since one of them took a month to ship. So here's a montage of me just opening up the packages. Now it's finally time to clean the table. I start with the top shelf and start putting things onto the floor or into the trash. I thought this would be the best way to figure out what I wanted to keep and what I wanted to throw away. I started with accessories, putting the really small pieces into a container or onto my chair so they wouldn't get lost or kicked around on the floor. I also had some leftover supplies from last year's April spread that I haven't disposed of yet. Then I take down the skincare section and check their expiry dates to see which ones are still usable. Then I start bringing down my notebooks. I still have some notebooks from last sem, but I also added my new notebooks for the semester. I separate the new ones from the ones that need to be filed and put them on the floor. Then I take the rest of the stack to prep for later. Then the last area of this table is the going out tray. It has my keys, mask, disinfectant, umbrella, makeup, and just other things I might need if I'm going out. I also spend a really long time trying to remove the hair of one of my brushes by going through it with a comb. I also went through the papers I have on my table to see which ones I need and which ones I can throw away. Now we go down to the main table. I'm standing up since I keep small items on my chair. Some things on the top I brought down to the main table since I don't have any containers to keep them from being lost or trampled. I consolidate all my pens into as few cups as I can, but to make sure to separate the pencils. I also take small bits of paper and trash still on my desk and throw them away. I do the same thing of taking items and putting them onto the floor in sorted piles. I do it first with the pen and craft supplies because they're the easiest to remove. Then I start moving my gray paper stack. It has my book stand on top to hold my bullet journals, but with the handle on top I can easily move it down. I move my charger so I could keep working with my table light on. I had to make sure the stuff on the floor was somehow orderly so I could walk around and add more stuff. Then I take my organizers one at a time. Some of them are full pieces and some are in parts. I'm disposing of the DIY sorter I made since there's just too much stuff for it to handle. So my best bet is to empty it out and sort the contents into my floor piles. Then I pick up the remaining things on my desk. The black bits are not rat poop, it's just eraser dust from my new eraser. Now recording me is gonna show you what the floor looks like.
So this is what everything currently looks like. It's a mess on my floor like last time. And then if you look over here, I'll kind of like lead you through all of it. So this is my little 3-stack thing. I put the sorters from the top shelf over here. These are my chargers. The lamp is still plugged in because, you know, I don't want to lose light on the lamp area or the table area. And then These are from the bookshelf on top, or this is from the book ends. These are stationery that were under the green sorter, under this green sorter, and they're new ones, the new ones that I got, and then some of these are also new ones. This is my washi tape container. I'm not planning on changing the washi tapes in it anytime soon, but I'm thinking of changing this top part because, you know, a bunch of crochet, a bunch of earrings. I want to fix that. These are random art supplies that I can't fit in the other cups. This is like my pencil sharpener. I'm planning on getting rid of this one because I'm not sure if you guys see it, but it's very bowed. There you go, as you can see. That's why I kept bouncing it up and down in the footage if you saw it. It's because, yeah, it slopes downward like the bowl fell off from it. Over here, I'm just, you know, floor waddling. Over here, we have the top part on this green sorter. We have the stickers that were under it. These are new ones, or these two are new ones. This is just kind of like a backup of a correction tape. Then I got more correction tapes. These are from a kind of school care package from our local government. And then these are my notebooks. So these are the filler notebooks, the extra like unused notebook and papers. Those are my school notebooks, so I'm planning on putting some of them away. I already customized them for the new semester. This is the usual very nice washi tape drawer. I don't think I'm gonna change that anytime soon, but I might change this top part. Over here is this other green sorter. I'm thinking of also getting rid of this. As much as I like the stickers on the front, it's just breaking. It's actually already mildly molded inside when I got it, so now I want to fix it because some of these are like poking through the bottom already. Oh, that was a lot of sound. Okay, over here is this little pack, which are my skincare stuff, and then extra pens. I'm putting these extra pens in the gray drawers if I can, and I'm passing this over to my sister. And then these are skincare products and skincare, like my headband that I crocheted, my earrings, more earrings, and necklaces, and this is like my hair stuff. Over here we have the very messy stationery section from the main part of the table. So these are my pens, these are my markers / highlighters. I got random stuff from the side of my table, so storage, crochet, jewelry things. These are index cards, extra pens, and then over here is the holder for my bullet journal and my book stand. Now I'll show you. I have a lot of actually extra things that I don't know how to sort and I don't want to put on the floor, which are all on my chair. So these are computer glasses, crochet eyes, camera equipment, an extra container. These are from the top shelf, I think. Yeah, these are my mask container. This is my umbrella. Random small items that I don't want to put on the floor because I know they're going to get kicked around. They're going to get lost. So I also have some glue and some paint over here. And then this, it's a mess basically. This is my stack of items, so they're just everywhere. So these are the ones that I'm going to build to make sure that all of this is actually fixed. So there's these going all the way there. And then there's this, there's these two, there's this. This is my this build instructions and some table planning. And then random items over here. And then this is the table. I'm not sure if you see it on camera, but it's very dusty. And it's the main reason why I've been grabbing tissue this entire time I'm cleaning. So same thing for up here. It's not as dusty. And then, so the main thing I'm going to do before I clean this up is clean down here. So you can see there's a lot of yarn everywhere and it's gotten a lot more messy since you guys last saw it. I also have this little shelf down here where I usually keep the crochet, thing I'm crocheting, so it's easy access. I don't have to reach all the way down. But I really need to fix this since, I did have my 2 bullet journals stored, but it's not stored properly. I also haven't stored my notebooks properly. Then I have a storage solution for this yarn. There's a lot of yarn and a lot of uncompleted stuff because I ran out of yarn for it. Same thing for here. So let's just get into cleaning this bottom part before we go through anything else.
Hello, voiceover Maisie again. I messed up the audio somehow while I was recording live and didn't get to check it, so I hope editing me will fix it so I can be heard. We're cleaning up the bottom of the table now. I got these beige foldable containers to house my crochet stuff. So I have a big one and a small one. I collect my finished crochet clothes to hopefully put in the larger one. I completely underestimated how thick these can get. I've been playing Tetris with these for a while, but I put my thicker yarn inside the smaller box first since it's already fit there perfectly. As a compromise, I removed my really thick jacket from the box and put my thinner tops inside. I rolled them up to make sure that their strings are also there. I also used the big box to store full skeins of my thinner yarn and keep the open ones by my desk. With the crochet part mainly done, I start cleaning out the other containers here. My first one is a cardboard box I've always found weirdly aesthetic, and it had some parts of what I call my trash stash. I like making things, as you guys know, so I like keeping some stuff that I think might be useful, like unused chopsticks and packaging. So I clean the box up and put my materials in my craft kit, which is the blue container. I also take a stack of bound sheet music that I never want to see again. It's a really long story, but I don't want to get into it here. Then try to fit some craft supplies in the least used but might be needed craft supply box. I finally found a use for the aesthetic box, which is to fold other boxes. I also tend to collect cardboard, so it's perfect. The scavenge box holds other scavenge boxes. Before I put everything back, I clean it up a little, then I put it back in relatively the same order, but with the new boxes replacing the aesthetic cardboard, yarn bag, and sheet music. I put the plastic stack of glitter into the space between the containers. I also roll my wooden chopping block there too. I do a little more rearranging of the boxes before I set it aside. I tackle the other stack and start sorting those out too. These have a lot more art supplies. I have a super old shoe box that contains my mom's jewelry making stuff. I don't need it as much now since I have my own tools already. So I put that into the long-term storage in the bottommost plastic container. One of the red containers have pencil cases inside, and that's easy enough to store. The other has backup art supplies. I take all the lids and clean them since they're already so dusty. The backup art supplies box has stuff that I don't use often but I might use eventually, like staples and spray glue. I also have a bunch of paper scraps that are a waste to throw away but are too unwieldy to keep by the desk. I like the organization under my table, so I just keep the same general stack but with the crochet stuff off the ground and the aesthetic cardboard box on top and my new paints in the space left by the boxes. Then adding my makeup container and markers onto the large beige box. I moved to my notebook storage. Lately it's been a mess since I'm in the middle of transitioning SEMs and bullet journals. I take away the stuff I piled on top. You can see that I've kept every notebook I've had since my first year of college and they're labeled per subject. I only have 2 notebooks from last SEM that I want to keep. The other 2 were basically empty and I reused them for this SEM. Then I take my 2020 planner and my 2021 bullet journals to be placed inside long-term storage too. Then I just have to wiggle the container back across the extension cord. My camera ran out of battery as I was filming, so I didn't get a shot of me using my desk vacuum to get all the eraser dust off my table. But to remove the rest of the dust and disinfect my table, I take my wipes and wipe the entire surface down. We get to the fun but most time-consuming part, putting stuff back onto the table but looking hopefully a little nicer than before. I have some stuff to build. The first thing is this 2-layer monitor stand. With things like this, there's always a bunch of sawdust from drilling holes through, so I try to wipe it down as best I can and keep the dust from going onto the freshly cleaned table. It came with screws and a screwdriver, and I just need to assemble the legs with the bottom shelf. Add in the middle divider piece with more screws. Get tired of tightening screws manually halfway through and get the easy way out. Then just add the top shelf the same way. To keep it in position, I manually attach all of it a little bit and then use the machine to tighten them. So now I can just clean up a little bit and add it into place. The second thing to assemble is why I had to record my table setup in February and not in January. There's a bookshelf that took a month to arrive because I didn't see that it was pre-ordered for 30 days when I bought it. This doesn't have as much dust on it as the last one, but I still cleaned it anyway. This bookshelf consists of 2 8 shapes with one side being taller than the other. Then you could rearrange the 2 shapes to serve your needs. I mainly wanted for the dividers and being able to sort where I put things. There's not a lot to assemble from this point on, but I do need to put the legs and knobs on this tissue box. It's supposed to look like a retro TV, and you can also slide your phone into it so the TV is playing something. I've been getting frustrated at how my lamp wire hangs a little bit, so I did a little adjustment. I can't make it completely flat since it's gonna ruin the wire, so I just did my best. I brought my gray paper stack up to its usual position, and I just sorted through all the papers again. A bunch of it is previous worksheets from language classes, so I put that in long-term storage with the others. But in general, the way I did it was to place the least used papers, like printer paper and storage things like previous class materials on the bottom, then get the more commonly used things like pad paper on the second row since it's the most accessible to me. I also make sure to clean my book stand before I put it back onto its usual place. I take my washi tape drawer and wipe it down to remove the dust. I'm not really rearranging the inside since I haven't gotten a lot of washi tape since. I also have my tape dispensers and put that back in its usual spot still. But now I make sure to empty the top one since it's been filled with a bunch of crochet stuff. I didn't want to keep using it as a makeshift small item storage. I take 2 sorters that I got, One is a purple pen holder with dividers and it spins. I'll show you more of that later, but the other is a simple white organizer. This is going to be what I'm going to be using to store my stationery reserves and hold my sticky notes. This is basically serving the same purpose as the cardboard organizer I'm throwing away. I have a lot of colors of sticky notes and I want to make sure that I can grab them at any time, so they're occupying the 2 front rows. The whiter sticky notes and page flags are at the second row, then the reserves are at the back. I use that back row for backup pens, pen refills, sticky notes, correction tape, and glue sticks. I'm doing my best to make sure that I make each area accessible and I can find things quickly since most of my stationery is used in class or in my bullet journal. Once I figure out where that organizer goes, I bring in more things. I'm not using the monitor stand as a monitor stand, it's basically a long shelf for me to put more things on. I use one side to store all my sticker boxes and large sticker packs. Next, I'm just trying to transfer the contents of my green organizer into the spinny purple thing. As usual, my main concern was that I wanted more dividers. I put my crochet hooks in one spot, I put my paintbrushes and art supplies in the middle, I store my pastel Stabilo highlighters there too. I use my gold tray to empty out other parts of the organizer so I can finally put it away. On the right side of the shelf, I'm putting in some of my small planning notebooks in a small gold tray. This was the tray I bought last time I cleaned my desk. Then I also used that as a place to put my index cards and swatching notebook. Speaking about it a month later, I actually switched the placements of these after some experience using them. Since I used the paper supplies more than the stickers, it made more sense to keep the papers more accessible. While cleaning, I realized that I had a lot of hair ties and clips. I take a tray painted gold and place them there. I keep fiddling with the purple tray and the top of the washi tape drawers trying to see where stuff fits best. This is where the bottom of the shelf starts coming in with my hair tie tray and crochet accessories. I have a lot of cups, so I choose to put my mild liner cup on the top of the shelf. I got tired of sitting, so I started on the top shelf. I started my skincare section. I think the clear plastic organizer I've been using would be better used somewhere else, so I empty it out and put in the new container. It has a lot more than just skincare, and it's just basically general personal hygiene, but left some spaces for some room to grow. The next area is my accessories and tiny object storage in this purple container. First section is pins. Top middle section is my custom earrings. I'll be going back and forth to the sorter later. I also make sure to put the pens I don't use in the long-term storage drawers. I take the larger gold tray I just bought and turn that into my leaving the house tray. So it has my mask holder, sunglasses, umbrella, house keys. I put all of those in the tray and place that on the top of the shelf. After placing my accessories, I'm mainly working on the bookshelf. Since you guys can't see it, I'll just speed through it. Now the last touches is to figure out where leftover items would go. There's not really much of a system to how I'm sorting these, I'm just trying to clean it up as much as I can. The next clip would be the finished cleanup. At this point, I was trying to show you what I've done, but I've been cleaning for the entire day and very tired, so my live commentary was 10 minutes long and excruciatingly detailed. So like last cleanup, I'm just gonna use the voiceover to make it shorter. Starting with the top section, I have my long-term storage, which is stuff that I don't use, but I can't throw away. We have my skincare section with a lot of room to grow, and that extends to the accessory section where I have a bunch of small things that tend to get lost. Then a really small section for my accessories, both personal and camera. Then moving to the bookshelf, the left side has my notebooks for class and some other notes I like keeping handy. The top has my leaving the house things. The right side has my books that I mainly use to record flip-throughs, and the bottom has my loose leaf papers for my binder. Then the middle houses a little craft section where I keep my glue, craft supplies, and fancy paint. Moving on to the main table, we have the washi tape stack with additional stuff stacked on top. This is to help keep some temporary things like small pieces of paper and crochet items. We have a miscellaneous side box with tape, cotton pads, and old index cards. Then the top of my washi tape drawers are very similar, but now I have mixing containers there with my tech stuff and some clips. I'm really excited to have a gold headphone stand since it really matches the color scheme, and then we move to the bulk of the table. On the top of the shelf, it has my blue light glasses, my TV tissue box, highlighter cup, memo notes, and big white container with my reserves and stationery storage. I have the same setup for my bullet journal with some extra correction tapes and highlighters at the back. The purple spinny has my essentials in the front like my correction tape, erasers, pencils, and scissors, but it also has my crochet hooks and paint brushes, which are things I also use pretty often. I have my main pen cup and my smaller cup, which has the colors I'm using for the month. It helps make things a little bit more efficient since less searching for colors. Then we have the left side shelf for stickers and the right side for paper items. Then on the bottom of the shelf, we have my crochet accessories, tech storage, and my hair ties. And that's it for a year of saving, a month of waiting, weeks of planning, and a day of cleaning. I hope you guys like how my table looks. I'm really proud of it, and it's made working way easier. I know it's not on the same level as other aesthetic table setups, but I'm really proud of it because of how many things I'm able to store here. What do you guys think of my table? Any weird things from my table you want to know about? Leave them in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this from me, then hit the subscribe button and the bell to know when a new video is out. I try to upload every week, Monday nights at 8. I guess that's all for this video. Bye guys!